Travel along, Catholic pilgrims, for 1 year as we read through St. Faustina's diary. Join me, Amy Thomas, each day for a short reading out of the diary which brought us a deeper understanding of Christ's divine mercy. Welcome, Catholic pilgrims, to day 304 of our readings from St. Faustina's diary. Today, everything will go back to normal. I will do a reading and then my reflection. So I hope you really enjoyed those conversations with Christ and the different souls. I found them to be very insightful and relatable, and I'm sure you probably did too. We are a homeschooling family, and so I have taught all three of my kids. One is in college, one is in high school, and one is in second grade. And something that can tend to be kind of frustrating as a teacher is having to repeat yourself over and over and over again. And, I've been doing this quite a long time, and I finally am starting to realize that when I have to repeat myself over and over and over again, it's not because maybe they weren't listening the first time or they, were just blowing me off the first time. It's when you're learning something new or something very deep, a lot of times repetition is what is needed. And so I have to say things over and over again, and we have to practice things over and over again. Not all the time. Sometimes kids get things really quickly and you can just move on. But sometimes there are concepts that you just need to hear again and again and again. So today we're going to talk about repetition. In Notebook 5, numbers 1490 through 1495. Jesus, source of my life, sanctify me. O my strength, fortify me. My commander, fight for me. Only light of my soul, enlighten me. My master, guide me. I entrust myself to you as a little child does to its mother's love. Even if all things were to conspire against me, and even if the ground were to give way under my feet, I would be at peace close to your heart. You are always a most tender mother to me, and you surpass all mothers. I will sing of my pain to you by my silence, and you will understand me beyond any utterance. The Lord visited me today and said, My daughter, do not be afraid of what will happen to you. I will give you nothing beyond your strength. You know the power of my grace. Let that be enough. After these words, the Lord gave me a deeper understanding of the action of his grace. Before Holy Communion, Jesus gave me to understand that I should pay absolutely no attention to what a certain sister would say, because her cunning and malice were displeasing to him. My daughter, do not speak to this person about either your views or your opinions. I begged the Lord's pardon for what in that soul was displeasing to him, and I begged him to strengthen me with his grace when she would come to talk with me again. She has asked me about many things, to which I gave answer with all my sisterly love, and as evidence that I have spoken to her from the bottom of my heart, I have told her some things that came from my own experience. But her intentions were something quite different from the words on her lips. O my Jesus, from the moment I gave myself completely to you, I have given no thought whatsoever for myself. You may do with me whatever you like. There is only one thing I think about. That is, what do you prefer? What can I do, O Lord, to please you? I listen and watch for each opportunity. It matters not if I am outwardly judged otherwise in this matter. January 15th, 1938. Today, when the sister about whom the Lord warned me came to see me, I armed myself spiritually for battle. Although it cost me much, I did not depart one bit from what the Lord had commanded. But when an hour had gone by, and the sister made no move to go, I interiorly called upon Jesus to help. Then I heard a voice in my soul saying, Do not fear. I am watching you this very moment, and am helping you. In a moment I will send you 2 sisters who are coming to visit you, and then you will find it easy to continue the conversation. And at that moment 2 sisters entered, and then the conversation was much easier, even though it lasted for still another half hour. Oh, how good it is to call on Jesus for help during a conversation. Oh, how good it is during a moment of peace to beg for actual graces. I fear most of all this sort of confidential conversation There is need of much divine light at times like this in order to speak with profit, both for the other person's soul and for one's own as well. God, however, comes to our aid, but we have to ask Him for it. Let no one trust too much in his own self. I don't know if you've all seen the movie Good Will Hunting. It's been many, many, many years since I've seen it. But there's this very impactful scene in it. If you don't know this story, I'll give you a very, very quick summary. Basically, there's a guy, he is a mathematical genius. He doesn't know it. He kind of lives a rough and tumble life. He has friends who just are, cruise around on the streets, get into trouble type of people. Anyway, he is working at this college and he meets up with this professor. And this professor has this extremely hard math problem on the board. And he solves it. The guy solves it. It's played by Matt Damon. And the professor is Robin Williams. And the professor is like, whoa, this is incredible. You are amazing. And he's just, shrugs him off. Well, there's this one particular scene when they're standing in the hallway and Matt Damon's character has had a rough life and he's had a lot of bad things happen to him, which is why he, has never really made something of himself. And Robin Williams' character is saying, it's not your fault. And Matt Damon's character says, oh, yeah, I know. He just kind of brushes him off. And the professor says again, it's not your fault. And the student says, and Matt Damon says, yeah, I get it. And the professor says again, it's not your fault. And after saying this several times, the character that Matt Damon plays just breaks down in tears because he had held up this wall and he just needed to hear that repetition of it's not your fault. And the professor knew this, and that's why he kept saying it. He needed to say it enough times for him to get it. And then finally it just pierces his heart and he gets it. He gets that all the tragedies that have happened in his life are not his fault. And he just unleashes these tears, and it's a very moving scene. Which brings me to our readings today. We are very far into this diary. And, I'm sure there are days when your focus is not, as strong as it is on other days. I know this because I'm doing the Father Michael Schmidt's podcast, Bible in a Year podcast. And there are days when my mind wanders and, I try to bring it back. But we've gone through this diary now for 304 days, which is wildly substantial. But as we've gone along, you've probably noticed that a lot of things keep getting repeated. Sister Faustina is writing this as a diary, obviously. And so she says a lot of the same things over and over and over again. And Christ says a lot of the same things over and over and over again. I am with you. Come and get my mercy. I will always be with you. These are my graces. I want to pour them out. And there could be the tendency for us to say, okay, yeah, we've already heard this, something new. Let's hear something new. But I invite you to listen to the repetition because our lives are so busy and we have so many walls and blocks and noises in our lives that sometimes we just need to hear over and over and over again that God loves us. He wants to shower us with mercy. There are many graces that we can call upon. We need to hear that over and over again because we forget. We may know it, but we don't know it. You know what I mean? And so just like in that movie scene, if Christ were standing in front of us, he may say, I want to shower you with mercy. And we may say, oh, yeah, I've heard that before. Yeah, I get it. You want to shower us with mercy. And then he may say it again. I really want to shower you with mercy. And we could say, yeah, I get it. You are the God of mercy. And yeah, I get it. You want to shower us. And then he says it again. I want to shower you with mercy. And then it may really get inside, and it may really impact our lives. And it may just be that one more time of saying it that really helps us to fully get it. And so I know that there are parts in here that can be repetitive. We kind of hear sometimes the same things over and over again, but that's okay, because years from now, after we're done reading this diary, you're not going to remember all the ins and outs and all the words and everything. But what you're going to remember is how often Christ repeated, "Come to my mercy. Come receive my mercy. I want to shower you with mercy. I have so many graces available to you. I will give you graces. All you have to do is ask." Those are the things that you're really going to remember, and it's going to get into your soul so that you really understand it. So that when there comes a time down the road when you really need to go get some mercy, and you really need to go to confession, or go speak with a spiritual director or something like that, or drop to your knees in prayer, you'll remember how many times Christ said that mercy was available to you, and you'll be more willing to go to him because you heard it so often. So I know when things are repetitive, it can be hard to, hang in there, because, we're people who are on the move. We want to hear the next thing. What's the next thing? And we are constantly being bombarded with new things all the time. And so, just like with my kids, though, in homeschooling, sometimes they just need to hear it over and over and over again until it clicks. And we are no different as adults. Sometimes we just need to hear something, a deep concept, a profound concept over and over again until it clicks. So I invite you to not get discouraged or impatient with the repetition. It will be what hangs with you the most. I guarantee you that. That is all for today, Catholic Pilgrims. I will see you back here for day 305. And until then, live the faith boldly and travel well.